I'm now going to show you how to create a sample and hold based melody. We will be making use of the self-resonating feature of the filter. Now there's no volume control to turn off the oscillator. So what I'll do is set the mix all the way to the noise and plug in a cable to the external in and leave the other end of the patch cable unconnected. So we're listening to the external signal, but we haven't connected anything to the external signal. So this is a trick to disable the oscillator signal. Now let's hear the filter self-oscillate. I'll bring the cutoff down and bump up the resonance. And there you go. We're hearing a sine wave that is being generated by the filter. But no matter which key I press, it's the same pitch. To enable key tracking for the sine wave, I'll take the keyboard CV out and connect that to the VCF cutoff. And now we have key tracking. Okay, but instead of using the keyboard CV out, I'm going to use the freely assignable assign out instead. As you may have seen in my previous videos, you can hold down Shift, Reset, Set End 8 to go into the menu and set the assign CV output. We have 8 options on this page. Number 8 sends a random voltage on every step of the sequencer, which is very much like a sample and hold signal. And now when we run the sequence, we will hear that random voltage changing the frequency. Now the range is too wide, so I want to control that. And the best way to do that is to use the VC mix. I'll plug the assign output to the mix 2, and the VC mix out, I'll plug back to the VCF cutoff. Now with the VC mix dial, I can control the range of modulation. So that's your classic sample and hold sine wave melody. You can play around with the controls to shape the sound. The cutoff dial sets an offset for the pitch. Maybe reduce the decay there a bit. I'll turn off the sustain. Okay, now let me show you a variation to this sound. For this sound, we're going to use a high-pass filter. So I'll switch to that. Since nothing is connected to the external input, we are hearing the noise signal. You can still hear the self-oscillation of the filter there. Okay, let's switch over to the VCO signal. Now this high-pass filter is a bit odd. At high resonance values, it doesn't seem to cut the low frequencies. So what I'll do is take the VCF output and plug that into the external audio in, creating a feedback signal. And as I rotate this mix dial towards the external audio signal, I'll turn down the main resonance dial. We're basically adding resonance. And you'll notice that we're also cutting out those low frequencies. This way of creating resonance seems to also sound a lot more aggressive. We can add more resonance by bumping up the resonance dial. Be careful with that. Okay, I'm happy with the sound. Now let's create that sample and hold melody. Take the output from the assign, plug that to the mix 2, because I still want to have control over it. And the VC mix output, I'll plug that to the VCF cutoff. Now when I play the sequence, we have the sample and hold melody. The VC mix dial controls the range or depth of modulation, and we have a very different tone and a lot of variations as well. From this point, it's just a matter of playing around with the cutoff dial, the resonance dial, and the mix dial to change up the timbre. So that's a couple of different ways of creating the classic sample and hold melody.